All right, guys, we are at Dardanelle State Park in Arkansas, and what a treat this campsite is. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm really excited to take you around and show you. And as you can see, we've got ourselves a lake spot. It's amazing. Let's check it out. So sites have water, electricity, and they actually have sewer as well, hookups, or they also have a dump site. But they back beautifully right onto the water. This particular spot has a table and a grill and a nice little lamp set up there. I actually don't know what the lamp is for. You guys tell me, what are these lamps for? Is that so that people can set up a light? I guess maybe so. I've never seen that before, but I think that's awesome. So one of the things about staying here that you might need to be aware of is that when you are parked next to the water, you are parked next to turtles and snakes. So if you have a fear of snakes, I would recommend that you park more inland. There's definitely, probably I've seen 2 or 3 snakes. They're not near the trailer, but you are very close and I have seen the snakes. So if you really are terrified of snakes, this is not the camping spot for you. You want to be more inland and away from the water, because that's kind of where the snakes tend to hang out. Also where the turtles hang out, which I think is pretty cool. In behind our campsite is a nice trail, and you will actually find most of the snakes to be on the other side of the trail and closer to the water. You've got pretty good clear pathway to make sure that you're avoiding snakes. But it is nice, a nice place to take the dogs for a walk. There seems to be a marina over there. If you have a boat, that would be awesome as well. We're just kind of in a bit of a cove. So for those of you wanting more inland sites, 54 to 65, not sure of the size of the trailers, it doesn't look too bad, but you'll want to be in sites 54 to 65 if you want to be a little bit farther away from the water. Site 55, for example, this one's not the most even, but it certainly can fit a larger unit. Site 58 backs up against what looks like the amphitheater over here, so I don't know if I'd want that. If there's a crowd in there, you'll have that in your backyard. There's a nice amphitheater in here. I haven't heard of anything showing, but it's a nice setup, nice and clean and tidy. There's a little bunny way back there. I guess we interrupted his show. There are quite a few different great trails in and around the area here. I won't have time to get to explore them. I wish I did, but they look like they're great, well-kept trails. The nature nerd in me loves this. They have a butterfly garden for pollinators. You guys are noticing a trend. I love nature in any of these campgrounds. They had really nice people at the office here. It was $38 a night in order to book a site that was 30 amp. It was a bit more, I think, for the 50 amp sites. We didn't have to book online, but you can book online, and I actually would recommend it. This is, I think, a very popular campground, especially the waterfront spots, so you'll want to book in advance. We got lucky because we're coming in on a Monday night, and we're only here for one night. Our spot is actually booked for tomorrow. I love the landscape pathways, especially if you're not a snake person. Having clear pathways helps to make sure that you can mitigate risk. Guys, I love snakes, so I'm really not terrified of snakes, but I know that I have some friends and family who are. So I'm very sensitive to the fact that some people do not like snakes. But they have a purpose, and it's not their fault that some of them have wicked awesome defense mechanisms. And just a reminder, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are traveling to these really unique places. Some of them are unique, some of them maybe are more well known, but I'm trying to document as many campgrounds as possible for you guys and for myself so I can remember it, but for others so that they can see these great places or find these hidden gems to camp. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Look at that thick forest right there, just beautiful. This is a great campground. I really love being out here. This is kind of like where you get that true camping experience, not so much the city camping, which we tend to do quite a bit of. This is getting out into the woods. You do see your neighbors, but it feels more filled in with trees and nature and that kind of stuff. It's really quite beautiful here. Looks like tents are welcome. I guess that's a tenting site. We did stop in town and have dinner. I would have actually preferred to have dinner just by the lake, but we didn't have the groceries, so we were going to town whether or not. But we ate at Fat Freddy's. It was really good. It was decent. I'd highly recommend the ribs. My husband got the ribs. I got the hamburger. I actually wished I got the ribs. Even their dump station is actually really nice here. They have some beautiful cypress trees right by the water. I love cypress trees. One of my favorites. Here is the boat ramp for those that are interested. Lined by two beautiful cypress trees here. So sites 1 through 16 are just in here, and they back up against the larger aspect of the lake, whereas we are just kind of in a cove area. Sites 1 through 16 have access, just a viewing access, some of them anyways, not all sites, but some of the sites have access or view of the very large part of the lake. Site number 2 is handicap friendly, and it looks like sites 1 through 16 do a loop all the way around here. Sites 13 back into the cove. I'd have to say this site 14 is probably one of the best. It's a kind of a back end site, but with a sideways lookout on the lake with your picnic table that basically just lines up right against the water so you can walk down to it. So that's a pretty sweet spot. Site 16 is also equally as nice as well. And it is drive-through, which is, I haven't seen a lot of those. There's only a couple. Even these sites that don't back onto the water are beautiful with their treed-in areas and behind them. Now that guy has a bucket hanging from his pole. So I don't have a clue what the bucket is for. Do you guys have a clue? You'll have to tell me, put it in the comments, because I have no clue. So essentially there's kind of 3 types of camping, maybe 4 in here. There is the bay camping, where you're camping where you could get some sort of view of the bay. There is backed up against the lake, and there is no backing up against the lake but near it. And then there's also completely away from the lake, which ideally I think is the best spot if you don't really like snakes. Here's an example of site 27. Look at how nice these sites are. Like this is massive. This is like spend a couple of weeks if the state park allows you to. They're just so nicely set up. Now this is one that backs onto the park kind of area, not on the lake, but there's a little bit of a view. Back there is the lake right there. So there is a camp host here for after hours, late arrivals, that kind of thing. If you need firewood, apparently you can get it here as well. Actually, you can see it right there. Your camp host is in site 25. They even have double sites, which is interesting. I don't see those very often. The campground is dog friendly. It pretty much has to be if we're here. It looks like they have cabins too. They do have a swimming area with a little bit of a beach here for the kids, as well as a volleyball court that's getting utilized, which I often don't see at many campgrounds, so it's nice to see. They have a beautiful, just a beautiful park-like setting everywhere. Lots and lots of trees. They even have a little stage area. That's awesome. I bet you they put on presentations there. Yeah, guys, this is honestly most definitely a walker's paradise. This is just meant for just get in your steps, because you can just walk and enjoy the beauty of your surroundings. It's really quite nice. It's actually a much larger boat ramp area closer to the entranceway. All right, guys, I think the dogs and I have literally walked everywhere. I'm going back to the campsite to sit by the water and just take in the evening by the lake. So Lake Dardanelle gets a total thumbs up for me. I'm really enjoying this campground. I wish we were staying longer. Beautiful. It'd be definitely a good place to stay and have a little bit of time off to relax. If you're a fisherman, it would be fantastic for that as well. So make sure that if you're in the Arkansas area, check out this campground. It is a great state park. Awesome, you guys. Happy travels.